Hello folks, I'm Stephen Herman and today with me is Jake Pilla. Jake is an up-and-coming amateur MMA fighter. He is also an assistant coach of the Andover High School wrestling team. So I understand you're an aspiring MMA fighter out of Billerica. How did you get into the martial arts instead of more typical sports?
Well, when my parents were younger, my father got bullied when he was a kid. So when I was like 4, he took me to a martial arts school and told me that he never wanted to see me get picked on. So he put me in class, and I've been doing that for 15 years now. So I started there.
What do you like about it compared to other sports?
It's a much more personal sport. It's not. I'm very competitive, so group sports, I'm almost too competitive for. I enjoy working with a team, but I like when the pressure's on me. So, compared to baseball or football, where they're very slow and you got to wait for the team, and I'd rather get in there, do it, get it over with.
Nice.
So.
What is your fight history, record, and favorite memory from a fight?
I'm now 3-0, so undefeated. I'd say my favorite memory was probably the slam. My coach hit that in front of the entire world in UFC, and so when he came back, I was so impressed by seeing him do it that I told everybody for the next 2 months, I'm going to hit this slam, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And to call a move that you're actually going to do in a fight is, 1 in a million chance. So for it just to work perfectly that I hit it was just insane. So even like if you see the video after the fight, you see me yelling at my coach and pointing and telling him, I told you so, I told you I'd do it, because it really proved to me that, I was where I should be.
I'm assuming the fans really liked that one.
Oh yeah, it was a good night.
When training for a fight, what is your routine? Take us through like a day of training and diet for you prior to a fight.
The closer I get to a fight, probably the week prior, is a lot more cardio than training, and it's a lot less food than anyone should be eating. But before that, it's normally 2 to 3 sessions a day. So I'll wake up probably close to 9:30, 10, get ready to get my bag together, all my gear together. I'll drive into Boston. I'll train from 12 to 2, 12 to 2:30. Then I drive back here. I'd wrestle with you guys for about 2 hours, then go home and go for a run for probably a half hour and hit some weights. So there's only about 3 sessions a day. So
pretty intense.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
Yeah. I understand you just had a fight Friday, April 4th. How'd that go? Do you feel as if you were prepared mentally and physically?
My fight Friday went really well. I was undefeated before then, so was he. So it was, really kind of the battle of the best. He was a really good fighter. He actually beat one of my training partners who I learned most of my technique from. He took him out at the last fight, caught him with a good kick, it ended the fight. So going in, I prepared for a war. I thought it was going to be a 5-round fight that was going to drag on, that we were going to go back and forth. And right off the back, I looked at Brian and I looked at Dooms, and I told them both, I was like, I'm going to go at him as fast as I can because I don't think he can handle that. And it was just perfect. As soon as we did that, he put his hands up, body lock, took him down, and submitted him.
And Brian and Dooms are your coaches, right?
Yes.
All right. And then you won this.
Yeah, a 45 amateur title.
Nice. Have you ever suffered a severe injury from a fight or from training?
No, surprisingly not. Most people think it's really dangerous, but I'll come out with, a black eye occasionally, or, a couple cuts on my hands, or, something was rolled wrong, but it always heals within the next week, so nothing too crazy. And I've been doing this for 15 years now.
So what would you say to people who say the sport is too dangerous or savage to be considered a profession?
To people who think that the sport's too dangerous, if you look at statistic-wise, someone who plays football, someone who plays hockey, or other sports tend to be injured more than we are. The way we train, we fight maybe 3 to 4 times a year, and that's a lot. Most people only fight 1 to 2 a year, whereas if you play football, you have, 15 games, 16 games, where you play so much and there's so much time. I mean, you play football for an hour, 2 hours. You're on the field, you're getting hit, you're back and forth, where I've now had 3 fights and I've only fought for less than 3 minutes. And because we fight so rarely, we can't train crazy, we can't hurt ourselves because the opportunity only comes so rarely to fight that we need to be ready, we can't be injured, we need to stay smart and stay safe when we train. So I've been training my whole life and I've never had any serious injury.
Glad to hear that. So you also teach martial arts as a part-time job. How has that been? How long have you been doing that?
Yeah, I teach Kung Fu. I've taught Muay Thai and MMA. I've been teaching Kung Fu for 10 years now. I started as an assistant instructor when I was about 9. And I loved it. It's a lot of fun. It's easy work. I mean, the pay isn't always the best, but you get paid with what you teach the kids. You know, what they learn is enough that, you know, the money doesn't really matter. So it's fun.
Going off that, you're also an assistant coach for the Andover High School wrestling team. How did you get into that? Do you feel as if you can connect with the kids because you're very close to their age?
Yeah, I got into that because Brian, the head coach in Andover, is also my jiu-jitsu coach. He's one of the top black belts in the area. He's extremely fit, extremely well on, knowledge of MMA and jiu-jitsu. So him as my coach, when he started taking over the wrestling, he asked me to come in and start training. The more I came in and the more I tried pushing, the team as well as you, the more he wanted me to be around to push you guys to make the team better, because he felt like my cardio and the way I worked was an asset to the team. So yeah, it was good.
It has helped. How has coaching allowed you to grow as a person? Have you learned any life lessons, or are you wiser now because of it?
Coaching has made a big difference in my life. I mean, I've learned a lot from coaching. The more I work with kids, I mean, from kids your age to kids who are 4 or 5 years old, I mean, I've learned a lot of patience. I've learned that, no matter what, I got to stay a good influence and a positive role model. Whereas, I'm only a couple years older than most of you guys. It's, I can't be going out and, drinking or smoking or doing, dumb things, because that's what you guys see. So you guys need someone positive to look at, and that's who I want to be. I have a little brother, I have little cousins, I have, family that's younger than me, and I want to be someone that they can look up to and they can admire. So, I've kind of learned a lot of patience. I've learned to hold myself to a higher standard than most kids my age, because I have so many people that look at me as a positive influence. So it's really helped me.
So we're going to go to a break right now. We'll be back very shortly.
Are you always tired before school or work, and you just don't have enough energy to get through the day? Constantly getting coffee to keep you energized? Well, not anymore. With Energy, you will have 6 to 8 hours of lasting energy guaranteed. Energy is a new drink that was developed in North Korea and is proven to make you more alert and focused during the day. Its special formula contains natural ingredients such as 3 bananas, electrolytes, amphetamines, and the caffeine equivalent of 6 cups of coffee. It also contains raw meat for added protein. Imagine a day without fatigue or sleepiness, all energy. Buy Energy today. Warning: Energy may cause drowsiness, increased heart rate, and high blood pressure. Do not use Energy if you are over the age of 34, you're pregnant, or you have a serious heart condition. Enjoy Energy and drink responsibly.
Is your quarterback throwing the ball too hard? If yes, then Super Gloves are for you. They instantly make you a better receiver. With these gloves, you can catch anything.
Good morning, folks. I'm Joe Votto, and I'm here to represent Super Gloves. Super Gloves is the latest technology in your catching needs. With these gloves, I can catch anything. Expo marker, a tissue box, a stapler, even scissors, and a sheet. See that long catch right there? Thanks to the Super Gloves.
For only $9.62. But wait, call now, we'll double your order.
So we're back with our interview with Jake Pilla, a amateur MMA fighter. And what has been your favorite memory with the wrestling team so far? Do you have high hopes for the future?
I'm not sure if I could say one of my favorite memories. I have a lot of good memories from the season. You as well as the team were great to me. You guys, really respectful, really treated me great. Seeing all you guys come out to, that second fight I had meant the world to me. That was a lot of fun. And then, just the fun that we had on the mats. I mean, you take all the matches away, you take all the tournaments away, the fun that we had, whether we were, hiding each other's stuff or wrestling each other when the meets weren't going on, stuff like that. I mean, those are all my favorite parts of the season.
The wrestling team, and including yourself, danced to Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on the Andover Youth Services Telethon. Word on the street is that you were the best dancer. Do you have any prior dance experience, or was it all just natural?
I do not. I actually learned some of my moves from you throughout the season, seeing you dance. So I tried picking up a couple things from you, even though you weren't there the other night. But I've never danced or anything like that.
All right. Back to your MMA career. How do you think your mom feels about you trying to pursue a career which entitles fighting as a living?
It scares her. I know it really puts a lot of stress on her. So far, every fight I go into, she gives me a time limit to when it needs to be over. So luckily, I've met that every time. But she's very supportive. You know, she's really good to me. She stands behind me 100%. Anything I need, any issue I have, any problem I have training or gear or anything, she's 100% supportive. She's right behind me. She even before my first and second fight, there was some issues with medicals and stuff like that, and she went above and beyond to make sure my medicals were good and that I could fight. I mean, she really is with me 100%.
So, Friday night's fight, you won in 43 seconds via submission. What submission did you use, and how does it work to make someone tap out?
I won by a guillotine submission, which is actually like my go-to. It's my favorite thing to do. It was actually one of the first submissions I ever learned. And as someone either goes to take you down or leans into you, you wrap your forearm under the throat, grip your hands, and as you lift up, it puts pressure right here, cutting off the air going to their brain, which either they go to sleep or they tap. So
your opponent was out cold after the fight,
he went to sleep, yes.
How long was he out for?
He was probably out for, I'd say, 15, 20 seconds. So not too long, but he was definitely out. So
long enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people who don't know your previous fight history are now saying that you're a wrestler, even though you never wrestled in high school. Would you agree to this?
I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree, but I think that's good that that's what they think. You know, I like them thinking that. I'm going to let them continue to think that. So if they're that fond of my wrestling after one season, that's a good thing, because there's a lot more work to come. So,
how much would you accredit this to the wrestling program at Andover, which you coached?
In a big way, I give a lot of credit to you, to you guys and to the whole season, because I learned a lot this season. So as much as I was a coach, I was also learning. So I mean, it was you guys. I give you guys a lot of credit. So.
All right. What does the future hold for you? Do you plan to go pro?
Yeah, I figure you only need 3 fights to go pro. This is now my 3rd fight. I won a title. I want to have 2 more amateur fights and hopefully go pro by next year. So.
All right. What is the path involved to go pro, and what do you have to do?
Technically, if I wanted to, I could call the promoter right now and get a pro fight. I don't think he'd be too happy because this is an amateur title, so I'd have to give it up. But as soon as I feel comfortable and I feel like I have enough time and experience, I make the call, tell him I want to get a pro fight, and I got to get like a $30 pro license, and that's it.
You're only 19, so there's no need to really rush into it.
There's plenty of time, yeah.
So. Your coach, John Doomsday Howard, is now is fighting in Dubai soon. How has he been a role model to you?
He's been a huge role model to me. I met him probably 6 years ago, before he was my coach. We talked. He was really inspiring. He took the time to sit with me and talk to me when I was just a little kid, and years later he became my coach, and he's really made a huge difference. He's walked me on the right path. He's done a lot for me. So I'm very, very grateful. And April 11th, he's going to win this fight, so I have no worries. I've been training. We had the same camp together for our fights because it's so close. So it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that is all. Thank you for watching. I'm Stephen Herman. Thank you, Jake. Good luck in the future, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.